I know that if we ask you to tell us about your journey and what you do, we're going to need like a day and a half because you do a lot.
Yes.
But briefly tell us the scope of your branding process.
Okay, so it started from being a quiet boy, my close shadow in my corner, that I observed a lot, and I wanted to express what I felt about life in general. So I'm an artistic person. I sketch, I paint, and then I fell in love with poetry to start with. So I used to write letters to people that I don't even know how they're going to get the letters, but then expressing how I felt at the moment. Then I had rap music, and I'm like, you can talk and get paid out of it. So that became like a channel that I chose, and that got me into music. And as Claudia said, as a startup in Ghana, or actually everywhere, it's really hard to get on, especially traditional media, which there's a lot of money involved, so at this point, digital marketing became a tool for me, and I know everybody can relate that they saw Sarkodie on YouTube and Facebook and all that. So that's how I built my brand, and now, I'm the musician you know today. We have direct access to our consumers in this day and age. I think, let me take you back to when hip life started with, I know you guys know Obofour, right? TikTok and the likes. They were enjoying fame but had no idea how their consumers felt. So they were blocked until they went on tour, or you'll be performing on a big stage and you see the reaction to know how important or how famous you are or how powerful you are. So it had its advantage and disadvantage. Advantage being that you work more because you don't know how big you are. And disadvantage is if you easily get, you can lose the drive if you don't have an idea that there's a bunch of people in who have been formed a committee or whatever, like now we call it Sac Nation and the SM movement and the Beef Nation. But way back it was hard to find that. I'm pretty sure it was there, but you don't even know somebody is in Ayawaso somewhere who's dying for you. So if your songs are not being played on radio, then you think that's the end of it. But there might be root people on the grounds who are so like for you, rooting for you, and still in love with your music or your art. So at this point where we had digital marketing, that's what we, the new age, are using now. Very, very important that we stay on there constantly and getting feedback directly from the people who consume the music. So there can be a graph on radio, and you can do your checks on the streets as well using digital marketing to understand. Even people who are not on platforms digitally, like my mom, but I can imagine that if I wasn't an artist and my mom was a fan of Amachidede and I'm on Twitter, I would say my mom loves Amachidede. So it is still me talking about somebody who's not on a platform, who's in love with Jocelyn or whoever. So it's very important that you can't do without the digital marketing. You really have to stay on your A game on there. We have our brand in our hands, in control, to be able to tell the people what we want them to feel about us. So I think you can't really do without it at this point. It's very, very necessary. I will call it a necessary evil to survive in this industry. Yeah.
Thank you. And how you're making money, even as an artist, because we've heard so many stories of how difficult it is for even artists to be paid royalties and stuff over here. Yeah. So what are you doing that sets you apart from the rest of the artists out here?
To start with, I'll go with the first line, brand positioning, which you need to know your target audience. It's very, very difficult to do sometimes because you know what you see and people don't see it. And if you're all over the place saying, because this girl is posting this, and maybe I might have to do that. If you don't feel like that, there's a certain way you feel. There's a crowd out there for that same feeling. So there's a crowd for Standard Chartered, and there's a crowd that wouldn't relate. It's always going to happen. There's no brand that's going to appeal to everybody. But you have to notice this is what you want and this is how you want to position yourself. So over the years, people working with me, my team has had a tough time with me because certain deals that I will let go. I remember a deal came in from, it's not even from Ghana, I think it came from Gambia, and it was an alcohol, me being a brand ambassador for an alcohol, what, I don't know if it's a beverage or, I didn't even read the contract because I knew I was not going to do it. And I said, the money was actually very good. I had to refresh the email over and over again, through the night and go through it and maybe pray and hopefully I hear from some angels saying, "Son, you can take it, it's okay," you know. But I knew that I would not push that so well and it wouldn't sit well, and it goes a long way. Though it's money, there's something called brand positioning, which is what you stand for, how you want people to take you. So in my world, as he said, you know, he's let out all my secrets so that people know where my income is coming from. But I monetize every bit of what I do. The great thing that I've been able to achieve by using the brand positioning is that I know my target audience and I don't really worry that much. So people who don't know how to monetize, they don't know who to connect to. You know, I have a cult following. You know, do we have some Sark Nation here? No?
Woo!
So over the years, I built these following for a very long time, and I know what they want. So like next week, I'm releasing a project called Alpha, which has, if you listen to the sound of it, it has nothing to do with commercial music. I know that it might not even be radio successful or whatever, but I know I have a cult following that with or without like a radio song, they're still gonna jump to it. And that is over the years. A lot of artists can't do that. They can't take that risk. They always have to make sure that they produce a commercial song because they don't have a cult following. They have music lovers. So they are not necessarily following Sarkodie or Stonebwoy or anyone. They just love music. So a song like Adonai, I monetize it, but it's like worldwide. You don't need to be a fan of me to love the music. Does anyone know Original?
Yeah.
Homicide, Revenge of the Spartans. Okay, so these songs might not be as big as Adonai, but actually if you look at the views, it's crazy. You know, if I look at the back end and the money I get from even the highest album, which is strictly hip hop, but because I have a cult following, I know how to monetize it. On top of my head, I know there is no way my next video coming next week is going to stay at 100K. You'll probably get to 800 to a mil. It's a must because of the because of the following that I know that I have. So I built this over the years and monetized them. But sometimes, you know, if you see their face, like you're just trying to monetize them, it's not because I'm not just trying to monetize them. It counts with a job. But I think consistency, standing for something that your brand stands for, just see your cause, the people that relate to you, and just forget the rest. Even if it's, as you said, you could have 5 million views and 5 million followers or subscription and still get 200 views. That means they really don't care that much. And I think that's very important that you can monetize. And as he said, influencers, we are here today. Positioning myself, adjusting a certain brand that we built, connected us to Stanchart. You know what should I say? You know what you have to do? The screening you have to go through to get close to Stanchart, because they have built this thing for over the years and they are not ready to take risks. So they will do their due diligence on anybody they are about to affiliate with to see if there's any dent. There needs to be a conversation. I remember when we just started our relationship, and I posted a video. I don't want to, you guys know. So the call I got from the office, I had to take the video down. You know, so in a way, it's just brand positioning, and then you attract the people that you appeal to, and then you monetize through that. With my digital, stuff. And as an artist, as much as I want money, I'm driven by passion. So sometimes it gets in the way. I feel like the fans need music. Let me just put it out. Let just enjoy. I've been getting feedback from Sark Nation. They're like, "Oh, you're starving us. You're doing this. Why is it been too long since Can't Let You Go? You have not released anything." Then for me, every day I will drop something. But as you said, I went back and forth with my team because they are not doing music. You are in your passion world. You are talking about, you just want to give your fans. So what you're saying is making sense now, because that's what they've been telling me all the time, that it's a process. And it doesn't just happen that music is on Billboard or like you can see it on the front page of iTunes, Spotify and all these things. It's a process. You need to let them be in the process so that all the numbers you're looking for, sometimes by magic, maybe you drop a music, it might go. Like, I don't know, I didn't really have to do much, but there are strategic ways, you know, to position these products that can, you know, get the target that you're looking for. You know, so as much as I'm driven by passion, as you said, so if it was just me doing it, I might be repeating some mistakes which could have been avoidable. By having a team that doesn't allow you just go by your passion and then have to put things in place. So definitely you need people to deal with that.
Yeah.
Look, Southern Plains.